A bunch of you just put your hands up when I said, when I asked you to about moving beyond your limits. And so I'm going to Oregon right now. Trenda Lou, it's you. Are you there?
Hi.
What's your first name?
It's Trenda.
It is Trenda. Cool name. I've never heard that
Yes.
as a first name.
Thank you.
So what can I help you with, Miss Trenda?
So, first of all, thank you so much. You are a very special person.
So thank you. You had to swallow before you said that. Wow.
I'm sorry?
What? You had to swallow before you said that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes, you're very, very beautiful soul, and I really appreciate that. So my question is, I'm very sensitive, and when I am in like group settings or even like in ceremony with other people, I'm very sensitive to other people's energies, and I can't like focus on myself. And even just going into public situations, and it's very difficult sometimes, and I'm just wondering if I know there's a way, I just don't know how to apply it to myself, where I can protect myself with some kind of shield or ground myself more or something. Yeah, so something like that.
Okay, so there's a couple of, and I work with this a lot, as you heard me mention when I was doing the transmission at the opening of the call. It's been part of what I've been stepping up in an increasing way, because the universe has brought so many people in front of me with this challenge as we all awaken more. So the sensitivity shows up. I'm going to answer just a couple of other things I'm going to add in here, because I can feel other people on the call needing this. So the increasing sensitivity shows up in ways like the skin having outbreaks, food allergies, because you're purifying, and our systems are being asked to be of a higher vibration, and the food, if we're eating still lower vibration food, this is not at all what I'm saying you're doing, Trenda. We're more sensitive to the chemicals and the additives in the food. So the sensitivity is whole body. It's mind, body, spirit. And so what we want to do in great part is ground you further in your body, because these high vibrations have been taking people up to their crowns, the tops of their heads, where we're receiving these from. And it's left people very spacey. It's left people ungrounded, tripping, headaches, migraines, vertigo, imbalance, clumsiness, even forgetfulness. And so one of the suggestions I seem to be making left and right is copper. So if you splice a speaker's wire, there's copper as one of the wires used to ground down into the earth. So if you all put copper pennies, in America we have pennies, you have pence over in the UK, so whatever copper coin in your country you have, use it, put it in the bottom of your feet. You could also even elevate this up another step and use compression copper socks. Just Google that. I think Walmart carries them in that as seen on TV section. I think Walgreens will too. So also eating more root vegetables. So notice my first response to you, Trenda, is about grounding you in your body, because then you won't be able to be taken off center as easily and run in circles energetically at the head level, because you'll be more embodied with your presence. Does that make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And this new year, I just have so many things that I want to actually apply. And you bringing up copper, just recently, I've been so attracted to copper. And so I smiled so hard when you said that, and eating more healthy. So yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And let me keep going, because I'm going to channel right now, because there's a lot of information coming forth from you, which tells me that we're a really compatible match to be able to work together. Is there something that you're wanting to do more of in the way of how you're earning your money and how you're offering yourself to the world? Because what's happening is you're not grounding that. And I can call it your passion, your purpose, your mission, whatever word is going to make you feel lighter. Let's use that word. But you're in reactivity to the world more because you're not grounding enough your purpose. And so I teach Chi Gong too. So if there's this Chi Gong movement that your right foot is stepped out like a foot and a half in front of your left foot. Your knees are bent as always in the Chi Gong position. Your arms are bent at the elbows. And those of you who are standing or want to stand and do this, this is one of the things I love about Chi Gong that I get from Chi Gong and not yoga is the basic understandings of energy flows. I understand energy flows differently from the chakra system and yoga postures, but you're doing actual movements of the way energy moves with Qigong movements. And so if you're standing there, right foot's out in front of left foot by about 1.5 feet, a lot of foot there. Your elbows are bent, your hands are palms faced away from chest, and you step out moving your hands out beyond your body. And now drop your hands at the palm and pull, your palms are facing your torso now, and pull your body back in all the way to where you're kind of leaning backwards as if somebody's coming at you and trying to duck a block. And now flip at your wrist, your palms facing out again, and now start moving slowly out again. Both hands are facing away from the torso as you allow your body to shift forward. Flop at the wrist, bring the palms facing the torso again, and pull back. So that's kind of like the ocean's rhythm. And so when you're stepping out, it also teaches you action, and it also teaches you receptivity or receiving. Stepping out, taking action, the masculine, the yang part of manifesting, and the dropping back and stepping back, the yin or the feminine part of manifesting, the allowing, the receptivity. So Trenda, what I'm getting at is you're not stepping out enough with your offering, and you are instead in a more stepped back positioning. So you're in more reaction to what you're receiving from the world because you haven't asserted your presence enough and stepped out and offered your mission enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So if you want, book a holiday special call with me, and we can do more with this, because there's something that is like behind your back that is like up at your fifth chakra, and it wants to come in. Like, I don't know, do you do intuitive work, or do you speak or teach?
I'm in the process of that. I'm wanting to help people and heal people, and I led my first meditation class a few weeks ago, but I really want to help myself first, but I want to share at the same time. So very soon, probably at the beginning of January, February, I'm finally going to be in a place where I'm going to be able to apply all the things I want to in my life. But just like in this moment, I feel like, oh, am I actually going to do that? Because I've thought that before. But like, I'm moving to a new place, and I'm like focusing on I've applied for a herbal internship, and like there's things I'm actually doing, but I just have this fear, which I know I don't need, but I can't help it. And so, yeah.
Okay, so this is more common. It's going to sound counterintuitive to some people, and other people, you've worked with me enough that you will recognize it. People are more afraid of their power and their freedom than they are of their limitations and their fear, because the masses are entrained to live in fear. That's what our American medical care system does. That's what authoritative or dictatorial regimes do, not to say ours is. And there's just this underlying, like, you could go all the way to the biblical reference of the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder, and that people are more comfortable choosing from the familiar, even if it's creating discomfort and fear, because of the fear of the unknown. And that's just the ego mind trying to protect in the way that it's biologically, neurologically wired to do. So it was a part of our biology for when we were living in the jungle and we had a possible lion, a tiger, or a bear coming at us, and we went into fight or flight. And that's still a part of the wiring that we have. And in fact, it's been one of the parts of the upgrade I've had to do for the last bunch of years that I find whenever I'm at an expo and I'm dealing with the general public, the hand position always wants to go to the occipital lobe, which is the reptilian brain, which is where the adrenal cortex is, which is where this flight or fight mechanism exists. So for the masses, learning how to come out of that old wiring so that the ego mind, when it goes into protection mode against the fear of the unknown, of stepping out into doing something beyond your limits that you've done before. beyond what you're familiar with. The ego mind naturally goes into protection mode. And so fear is something that comes up. Fear is like a reflex when you're going into a new, those words I just said, I need to repeat this because I can feel some of you are spinning. I go quick, and I'm moving a lot of energy right now. So you can listen to the replay if you're not keeping up. So there's this general layer of fear that's not even necessarily only yours. It's kind of out there in the collective that you're up against and everybody else when you're stepping into expansion. So if you could just acknowledge that, be mindful of that, and observe it as it comes up, and ask yourself, what can I choose beyond this? Then that will help move you forward. Because if you even expect it and just know that it's a natural part of expanding and becoming something beyond what you've been before, then you don't have to let it stop you. But where people get stuck is they let that fear stop them. Now, I'm not saying don't listen to your fear if you're at a crosswalk in New York City and it's saying don't go across the street. Listen to that kind of instinctual fear, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I'm talking about a different kind of fear. So this is natural. And there's something big, Trenda. I mean, I ask for guidance before I call on anybody. And I ask that the people I call on be a contribution to the rest of the callers. It always works out really magical. So just know that, gratitude to you as the rest of the people on the call because of what you're bringing out of me in response to your questions. There's something big that wants to get born here through you. And I'm not trying to intimidate you, but you know that.
Yeah.
You are the exact kind of person. You can hear it. I get so much joy out of being in service to people to help them increase their business or create their business or launch their business when they're in their passion, in their genius zone, and they're going to contribute to society. It is my absolute favorite thing to do, and I've actually created 2 different programs in which to do it. And it's not that hard. I mean, there's certain tweaks to do to the consciousness to make your system like an emission center of certain frequencies that will help attract the right opportunities and possibilities to bring your launching or your business into an alignment that has a positive and growth trajectory. But it's not like heady marketing strategies that are out there that might get presented to you. And it's not a formulaic conclusion where you're looking for the best possible formula with which to proceed. It's very organic to what your system needs to be able to bring your business in the unique configuration it's going to want to be out to the people who are going to be asking for it. And it could look really different than the herbalist in training right to your left in class because you have your own unique way of being Trenda. And so what will work for somebody to your left for their marketing and presentation, like if they're going to do more online marketing, what might work for you is to have more person-to-person contact. The local workshops would work better for you. So there's a whole lot that we could do with your system and for anybody else who's listening and in her position, because I want to be able to help as much of you, because those of us who are doing this kind of work, doing it successfully, more of us doing it, helping and reaching more people to convert. Yeah?
Yeah, totally.
So what if it's not about you? What if it's about you allowing this to be birthed through you? Just like you're giving birth to a child who then has their own personality and their own karma and their own desires. What if it's about you're giving birth to a business that's just like a child, and it's not about you, it's about what wants to be born through you?
Yeah. You've given me a lot to think about.
I know I have. So another option, too, is if you wanted to, you could go to the Chakra Attunement audio series on my website. The 5th chakra is key to being able to choose beyond what you've been allowing yourself to choose from. So you could get that chakra clearing alone and just start working on the 5th chakra. You're much more able to create, manifest, and receive using both the yin and the yang lines of energy for manifestation if you get the entire Chakra Attunement audio series, because it will open up your system in an entirety. But it is not time for you to step back. Use this new year to your advantage. Use the momentum you're in right now because of this call. Listen to this section for you over and over again and stay in the bubble of an eggshell that has golden frequencies, threads of golden frequency around the eggshell, so that you don't have to protect yourself from the people you're coming into interaction with in the public. You just know that you're higher vibration because you're choosing to do what is natural for you, what is your gift, what is your passion, and what will help others, has a higher vibration. And in this higher vibration, your emanation creates its own eggshell around you that you only have to do a kind of clearing like I did at the beginning of the call, in the morning and at night, and maybe after you leave like a hospital or after you leave a mall or a busy city where you clear your field, but that your high vibration is actually an emanation that's going to have the lower frequencies of fear fall off of you. So it's not an aspect of needing to protect yourself when you go out in public. You just know you're emanating out. And for that, you could also look at the heart chakra because that's the strongest emanator. It's 10 times more electrical activity than the brain. It's the emanator. So if you have a strong, open heart chakra that's emanating, then that will help with this natural shield. But I don't want to present it in the form of protection against because there's nothing to fight against.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the way you say about the eggshell because I've tried to visualize something and this eggshell is very easy to visualize. And
isn't it? I agree.
Yeah, that really helps.
It's one of the easier forms for answering your request for the quote-unquote protection thing. But we're moving beyond duality. We're moving beyond having to fight against something. So, Trenda, I thank you for your contribution. I'm going to go to another caller.
Can I thank you for one thing really quick?
Yeah.
So the clearings that you did, I've needed that so much because a lot what you say I know, and I've had a really hard time applying it. But the way that you cleared and the words and the way you move your voice, absolutely amazing, and I've never had anything like that, and I really deeply thank you.
Received.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking time to express that gratitude, by the way, my dear. It's been an honor playing with you.